Hi there. Big thank you to you for staying with us here on Prime Morning. It's time for us to get into News Flash here on a brand new week. We're excited to come your homes and your offices, wherever you may have found yourself this morning. We'll entreat you to be engaging here on the show. You can do so. Our WhatsApp line is active. We're streaming live on Facebook, and you can also join us over there in real time with your comments this morning. We say a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, phones, Papa Pa, kindest courtesy, Franco Trading Enterprise. We've got News Flash this morning here on the show, and we want you to just make sure you patronize them. Now, they've got the best of gadgets that you need when it comes to CCTV cameras. It makes it easier for you to monitor your homes and your offices when you're not around, and you can do so anytime, anywhere on your phones, and it gives you clarity. Don't forget that you can also get some television screens over there as well. If you're looking forward to getting some phones, and we're talking about iPhone, Samsung, Nokia, any type of phone that you want, when you get to Franco Trading Enterprise, you'll be sorted out. We're giving 40% discount on all our accessories. You do not want to miss out on all of that and even more. We've got refrigerators that we're also selling, and you want to go through any of our branches and grab yourself one of those gadgets. Franco Trading Enterprise is available on Google Play Store. The app is Franco Trading app, and you can also call us. The numbers on your screens are the numbers you're supposed to be calling, and please do not pick any number on Facebook to speak to us. Make sure that you call the numbers that we're showing you on the screens right now. Those are the two numbers that you have to call us on. You can visit our website, www.francotrading.com, and you can get all the info that you need over there as well. Any of our branches, any of our numbers you can call on, the inquiries you can make in terms of the products that we have for you is quality guaranteed, and customer service is top notch. It's the reason why we want you to make sure that you always doing all those businesses and those purchases from Franco Trading Enterprise. Franco Trading Enterprise says still phones, Papa Pafi, and we're excited to be here this morning. And once again, please make sure you get interactive with us, and especially on Facebook. We're streaming live, and so go on Facebook and you can drop your messages over there. If you're leaving the house and you won't be able to carry the TV along, obviously, make sure that you go on social media, Facebook, and you can watch us live over there and still contribute to the show. This morning we're looking at two major issues. His Excellency the President of the Republic of this nation has actually reduced by executive instrument the number of ministries from 30 to 23. 7 have been taken off. Now we're going to be finding out some of the ones that have been merged and those that have been scrapped entirely. Let us know what you think about it. You think it's a good idea, or you think that we could have even done some more reduction, or you are just okay with the number that we are right now, 23. Somebody might say it's not that bad, but what do you make of it? And also, the IGP has been directed by the President of the Republic to actually run an investigation into the 2020 and 2024 elections killings, and he's also stated that his team and every other person that also can support will be there to give the IGP the necessary support to ensure that thorough investigations are actually gone into those elections and the unfortunate incidents that happened. We're going to be taking a look at that. My guest in the studio this morning, let me introduce, one is already in, so let me introduce him, and then we'll get to check the newspapers, the front page, what has been reported, and then we'll take it from there. Richard Sumah has joined us this morning. He's a leading member for Movement for Change, and he's a family to this family, and so it's always good to see him. Rich, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good to see you, my brother.
Yeah, good to see you too.
First time meeting this year, right?
Yeah, definitely so. Happy New Year to you all.
And how's it going? How's the movement and everything going? We're good?
Yeah, the movement is good. We all champion or prayed and hope for change, and change has obviously come. So it's a good thing for Ghana, and everybody contributed to this great change, and we all look forward to ensuring that this change that has come will be in the ultimate interest and benefit of the entire country, so that generations unborn remember that once upon a time, Ghana really did a reset, just like NDC promised us.
Awesome. Awesome. Away from that, let's get into the front pages of the newspapers and then we'll come back to deal with the substantive issue. Now, Daily Graphic this morning says volunteers corps deployed 100,000 to support Ghana's development. That's page 13 of the Daily Graphic this morning. You can read about it. President reduces number of ministries. Labour Federation welcomes realignment. And that's one of the issues that we're talking about this morning here on the show. We're going to delve into it a bit deeper. And the big story on the front page says National Cathedral probe soon, President Mahama. And so that's one of the issues that have come up. As of yesterday, there have been serious conversations around that. When we have time, we'll try and see if we can touch base on that. But I'll be sharing some of the things, the key points that the president raised when it comes to the National Cathedral issue. And so that's coming up. Prioritize national interest above partisanship, Speaker tells MPs. Now, Sunyane Queen Mother files suit against Yawajare Akwamuhene. That's also captured. Page 16 has got the story on the front page of Daily Graphic for today. Now, the back page, MTN FA Cup round 32 has thumbed home stars to advance and True Democracy started Dreams FC. That's pretty much the front page and the back page of the Daily Graphic for today. The Ghanaian Times is also here this morning and captured on the front page. A nation thanks God for peaceful elections, and it has the president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, in the warmest, pleasantry with the national chief imam. Now, that's captured on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Away from that, the president orders probe into electoral killings, directs Land Commission to halt sale leasing of public lands. And away from that, the GVC to deploy 100,000 volunteers to support President Mahama's vision. That's volunteers, support that is also coming up as well. So the front page of the Ghanaian Times reports on that. At the back page, NPA addresses fuel shortage in North and has got to progress in MTN FA Cup. That's also the Ghanaian Times for today. The Daily Analyst is here, and it says halt sale of state lands. Mahama orders Lands Commission. That's on the front page of Daily Analyst. And Free SHS asking parents to provide food. Others undermine policy. Child Rights International warns. And High Tension Foundation commends Professor Nana Opoku Ajiman. And away from that, acquisition of state land, Black rubbishes former NIB bosses' denial. And GJA president donates to over 1,000 households at Alajo. That's also captured on the front page of the Daily Analyst for today. Away from that, let's move on to the News Center. The News Center says President Mahama reduces ministries from 30 to 23, and Northern Ghana will not experience fuel shortage. NPA says so. And Soko project is a game changer. World Bank VIP speaks on that. The big story over there says NPP's 2024 defeat Younger Elephants launch investigations, and Child Rights urges caution in modifying free SHS. Away from that, attacks jeopardize McDonald's $88 million salt factory. That's also on the front page of the News Center for today. The last one will be the Ghanaian Publisher, and it says CRI cautions against the free SHS bedding transfer. And Younger Elephants probe NPP's defeat, and World Bank VIP Hills Soko projects. Away from that, cutting down ministry is not about efficient government reforms. Bright Simmons speaks on that also. And that will be the front page of the Ghanaian Publisher. Now, away from that, let's get into some of the issues proper. And we're starting off with the reduction of the ministry from 30 to 23, and some of the ministries I'll be mentioning to you, so those that have been scrapped and those that would have a merger. And so it is now official, and as most of you know. Now let's get into some of them. And Ministry of Railways. Now, after having a minister for railways in the last 8 years under the past government, and nothing had been shown according to some Ghanaians, the president, John Dramani Mahama, has completely scrapped that ministry. So there won't be Ministry of Railways. Later, I'll be showing you some of the ministries that have had the merger, like I said. Now, Ministry of National Security has also been scrapped. And the Ministry of Chieftaincy has been merged with Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy, and Religious Affairs. You also know that there was a Ministry of Water and Sanitation. Now, that Ministry of Water and Sanitation now is Ministry of Work, Housing and Water Resources. Now, the Ministry of Work and Housing that you also know about has also seen a change, and it's now known as Ministry of Work, Housing and Water Resources, and of Water and Sanitation. So that's what we have for Ministry of Work and Housing right now. Now, the Ministry of Information has also been turned into Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations. Ministry of Youth and Sports, that you know already, has also been named Ministry of Sports and Recreation, Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment. That's what you can find right now when you're looking for it. So let's get into some of them. And it says Ministry of Finance. We have Ministry of Health, we have Ministry of Interior, we have Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, Ministry of Roads and Highways, Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Sports and Recreation, Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. And so you can see that earlier I spoke to you about those that have had a merger and those that have been scrapped. So this is the new ministry that we're talking about. Now, for Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we have Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations. We have Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology. We have Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment, Ministry of Work, Housing and Water Resources, Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. And then we have Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, which is seeing a slight change in the name, Ministry of Labor, Jobs and Employment, Ministry of Food and Agriculture, and we have Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture. And then we have Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. So this is the new ministry that we're talking about, according to the president, by executive instrument. And so if you're looking for those that have been merged and those that have been scrapped, you can find it over here. But we want to find out if indeed this is the way to go. Can we reduce it even a bit, down, or where we are is okay? Let me start off with Rich. Rich is here, so hopefully we'll be having Philemon now also joining us this morning as well, and Solomon Asante will also be joining us from the NPP. So when they are in, I'll introduce them to you. But Rich,
yeah,
we wanted this reduction. Let's do with the minimum and still be able to be efficient. First of all, you think that from 30 to 23 makes a lot of sense?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to say a very good morning to your cherished viewers this morning and to the entire management of Multimedia for all the good work you did in the 2024 election, pre-election, election, and post-election. You guys did a tremendous job.
Thank you.
And also to your production team for giving us the opportunity to be here. And I would like to proceed by also saying Ghana is a country where it's a country that needs a lot of transformation. And not only transformation, but radical transformation to that effect. We are in a country where sycophancy, mediocrity, wastage, and so many things has engulfed us. Now, to move forward as a country, to become a self-sufficient nation, a productive nation, an export-based country, there are certain things that we need to do, and the time is now that we got to do it. Because if we don't do it now, there is no other finest opportunity that presents itself than now. For instance, we live in a country where ministries were set up in order to satisfy the whims and caprices of certain individuals within the previous government. Because to them, many people contributed to the campaign, many people contributed to the political victory. Therefore, they end up creating ministries, agencies, and institutions just to create the opportunity to feed in their people to get something to do. So, Mahama given another 4 years mandate, that is his last term. There is nothing he can do, so he promised us a reset. So, to go on this direction and for him to reduce the number of ministries, established ministries, from 30 to 23, I think it's in the right direction. It's in the right direction because a country of 33 million people cannot have more than 23 ministries, or even 20 recognized ministries. I would have even wished that aquaculture and fishery should also be embedded with the Ministry of Agri by just having other secretariats there or certain key people that will be responsible for fishery, responsible for aquaculture. I still believe that Ministry of Agri, one entity, Ministry of Agri, should be able to encompass anything that is agri-related. Just that they merge transport, we have Ministry of Aviation, Ministry of Railway, all those one has been taken off, merged into one component called Ministry of what? Transport. And that makes a lot of sense. You reduce wastage and you reduce cost. Because, mind you, we are a country that have borrowed so much into abase. Now, the new government coming in must make sure they streamline expenditure. They must make sure they do things that will inure to the benefit of the general public. So if they will also come and not show any signs of seriousness from the very instant that we give them the opportunity, then it will be wrong. So for Mahama taking this bold step and reducing the ministries to 30, I think he needs to be commended. And if he's going to go on this path, I sincerely believe that a lot of transformation will happen within these few 4 years that we have given him. And I believe sincerely he can move us into the future that we are all expecting. So for the 23 for now, it is okay. I would have only wished that it was brought to 22, especially...
Which one do you...
Yes, like I mentioned that
okay,
the aquaculture and fisheries should have just been encompassed with the Ministry of Agri and put other leaders or how do I call it, directors responsible for fishery, a director responsible for aquaculture. But nevertheless, that is his vision, that is his idea, and we all just need to support him, all in the ultimate interest of having a country that we can all be proud of.
Very well. We'll be looking at the other side of it, which comes to effectiveness.
Yes.
But before that, let me go to Solomon Asante. Solomon has joined us this morning as well, so let me welcome him. And he's National Communication Team member for the NPP. Good to see you, Solomon. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well.
Happy New Year.
Many happy returns to you. It's been a
long time.
It's been a long time. I think if I'm not mistaken, it will be over 48 months.
I should think so. I should think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the last time, I think, when you started, after the break, I met Rosalind.
Yeah.
And today I've met you.
Yeah, she's on break too now. So.
She's on break too now. All right.
That should be back.
I hope you're doing well.
We're good. We're good.
We thank God. This is a new day. We have a new year. We thank God for all that He's done for us in the past. And we look forward to more from Him the coming years.
Awesome.
We'll not leave our cherished viewers out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're the reason why we're here anyway. So, yeah.
And then, for the first time meeting my brother,
Richard,
I'll say good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you.
And wish you very well.
Great. Speaking of that, I mean, since Solomon said, let me once again invite our viewers, please do well and send your messages to us. Let us know what you think about the issues we're discussing this morning here on News Flash. It's proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise Store for Papa Pafie, and we're treating you to go there, walk into any of our branches and get for yourself a mobile phone, refrigerator, CCTV cameras, television, and we're giving you 40% discount on any accessories that you buy from us as well. So do well and walk into our offices. Call us anytime, any day, and we'll definitely be there to serve you. Franco Trading Enterprise says still phones, Papa Pafie. So two major issues we're looking at this morning is the reduction of ministries from 30 to 23 by executive instrument by His Excellency, the President of the country, John Dramani Mahama. Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think that it could have been reduced even a bit further? And there's also an issue of effectiveness. If there are 23 of them, how do we ensure that they're still effective? Just as maybe some people thought that it could be 30 or more and ineffective. So if there are 23, how do we look at the issue of effectiveness? That's what we're also going to be looking at this morning here on the show. But like I said, you can send your messages to us ahead of time. We'll be reading some of your comments this morning on our WhatsApp console, and also we're streaming live on Facebook. So we're reading some of your messages on Facebook as well, especially on Facebook. So do well and send your messages over there. Well, before I move on to take the view of Solomon, Philemon has also joined us this morning. Philemon La Esquire is representing the NDC. Good morning to you, my brother.
Good morning,
How's it going? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, my brother.
Everything good?
by the grace of God and with the commitment of the NDC and John Mahama, I believe that things are going to get better. I mean, there's a clear departure. I'm aware you've started the discussion on a lean government. There's a clear commitment, a clear departure from all of the ills that had characterized the NPP government. We have already moved away. The number of ministries have been reduced. There's an order this morning directing the Chief of Staff to ensure that our kids in secondary schools are fed. This is a clear departure. Clear departure from the ills. We'll go into that.
We'll go into that. I mean, I think that's also refreshing to hear.
It is.
Knowing how parents have, lamented over the last 24 hours or 48 hours or so when this issue came up.
Absolutely.
That's a good one. But let me go to Solomon and take his view on the issue of the reduction of ministries.
Thank you, KMG. In the first place, my good morning to our cherished viewers and then my colleagues here. I think it's in order. Why do I say so? Every government has its own formula. I'm very particular about the formula. He knows the main target, the objective to get there, and the various vehicles
You used to get there.
For his 4-year term, that's His Excellency, the President of the Republic, John Mahama, he thinks with what he wants to achieve by the end of the 4 years, he will need these vehicles to drive him to that goal. That is why he has set forth. We shouldn't forget that in the not too long past, he was in government, as a president, and that wasn't the number of ministers that he took. I hope you understand me. We were looking at, I think, around 88 or something. I hope you understand me. And today he comes to 20. 23 is the substantive, so there will be deputies, right?
Obviously.
So to get to somewhere, if times 2, we are looking at 46, which is comparatively less as compared to his first term in office. I hope you understand me. Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's about formula. You are the head. You think this is what you want to touch. So you will need this, you need that to make sure. Let's look at the transportation sector. In the previous government, Nanado's government, the transportation, we have the Ministry for Railways, Aviation, that sort of, but this one...
all been merged.
Now, look at the sort of focus that the other government had, for which it was disintegrated into the various sectors. Let's narrow down to railway. You could see the improvement that was made on railway as a sole ministry, that the focus was on something. You realize that's the first time we have got to had a railway line crossing the Volta through to Mpaka, and I hope you understand. That is something that I'm just hoping and praying that as it has been brought back into the main transport ministry.
There will be some particular specific focus on that.
Not only that, we have aviation and other ones. I hope you understand. I'm looking for it depends on the formula that the leader wants to use and what he or she wants to achieve by the end of the day. That is why. So I don't see why we should be so extremely happy or unhappy about this. A leader, a new king, a new law. Is that not it? The king today says, though I was a king yesterday, I used about 88 ministers. This time around, I think it should be somewhere around 40 or less than 50.
Somebody will also argue that if somebody was able to use 23 or is able to use 23 to do it, why wouldn't we use less than 88 to do it? If it's indeed is possible that we can use 23 to do it.
That argument will come in when we get to the end of 2028. For us to see what the results of 23
will look like.
That is exactly. I hope you get me right. So we can't just jump the gun. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to sound somehow somebody will say I'm being biased or something. No, I just want us to give him the benefit of the doubt
and see what he will be able to achieve with the
you
number he has right
now. He has a formula in his head. That formula isn't in yours, isn't in my head, is it in that of Philemon, right? The same way is it in that of Richard. So let's allow him, instead of criticizing to say why, no. He has his own formula. It's unknown to you and I. Let's see how it unfolds because he knows why this should be added to that. This should be taken off there. Why youth? We should have youth and development instead of youth and sports. He knows the formula. So let's see how it plays. And by the end of the day, that is where we'll come and sit here and say, oh yes, the formula he used has worked, at least in sports, now in youth. Now we have youth and they have been developed, that sort of this and that is that and that. Then we can look at the pros and cons for the formula that he used. So for now, it's premature for us to start reading meanings into it because it's a formula he's using. You and I are not privy to the formula. Let's see how it goes.
Hypothetically, if by 2028 we see that a lot have been achieved with the 23, would we now sit back and analyze again the 88 and say that, you know, is this something that we can do
perhaps I'm
out of bias?
I'm not getting what or where you are. I mean, looking at. You see, if 23 works, and Ghana will say yes, 23 we like that lean figure. We've been able to achieve much. Then definitely Ghanaians will criticize any leader who.
But we shouldn't forget that it comes with a cost as well.
That's what I'm saying.
If you have 23 or 88, it comes with a cost.
That is it. So if 23 works
about money as well,
per the formula that he has in mind, which is unknown to you and I. If 23 works, by the end of the day, that's in 2028, we can consider Ghanaians will criticize any subsequent leader who comes and decides to use more than.
Would we also then say that the previous government who used more than 23 have been unkind to Ghanaians?
That is one thing that I will not also say. I'll not go that tangent because I explained to you splitting the ministries, some of the things that possibly we were able to. Yes, it's a formula for the leader. I think this, I think that, I think that. My brother earlier was saying it's like, let me put it in that bracket, like job for the boys. So we have to create more ministries for the jobs, for the boys to get job to do. If I say boys, I'm not looking at physical, but I mean, I hope you understand. But I think that is not so. He's rather, if he does, you see, this the politics we're doing now. Then we let go of the real problems. The real problems are what? Where you have the boys that he tries the job for the boys. You don't see them in those ministries. So you don't see them in those ministries. You see them in some agencies, having special portfolios, other things. But for a ministry to be established and with a purpose outlined, and you see that the ministry is working, and I always use the railways ministry because I followed it, and then where it got to, especially when it was under Honorable Jugati.
Okay.
I hope you understand. You know, he a secondary man from the railways. I mean that place. You know,
trying to connect.
You see how when he was. You see how when he came. Yeah. I'm not saying Pierre didn't do well because under him too we had these new. What is it? Trains. I hope you understand. And then the construction of the Tema to Mpakadan thing. It was under. When Joe Jagate was there, that this thing started, and then it was completed. Not that. So you see, there were some transformations in that sector. Unlike when it wasn't given a particular attention as a ministry. That's what I'm looking at. I hope you understand. Okay. So I wouldn't say, yes, another use over 100 ministries, but I would say most of the ministries that were created did well for the nation.
Because of the specific attention that was given
to
in terms of development.
That is it.
Okay. All right. Many thanks. Let me go to Philemon. Philemon, I want you to make your initial comments on that, and also I want to find out from you if you think, in your honest opinion, that looking at the kind of impact we're seeing in the railway sector, especially for the fact that we need to make our transportation more, accessible, so that we all don't have to be jumping into the buses and all of that. You think that it was a good idea to entirely scrap the Ministry of Railways?
Very well, thank you. Good morning to the people of Ghana. I first of all would want to situate this discussion between two broad themes. One is a party that believes that the resources of this country should be judiciously used for the benefit of the citizens of this country. The other party, the MPP, believes that they should satisfy their family and friends at the expense of KMG, the people of my village, and the larger people of this country. Those are the two spectrums. And so far, the NDC has demonstrated that we stand with the people of this country. I'll tell you why the MPP should never be trusted by the people of this country again. I started by mentioning the preliminary comment on food. The fact that our kids in secondary schools do not have food. For 8 years, this MPP government has presided over a regime where our children are fed with food that even dogs will not eat. So because of that, I'll put the microscope, before I come to railway, I'll put the microscope on agric. Under President Akufo-Addo's government, there was Honorable Dr. Usa Friokoto, Minister of Agric.
Yeah.
There was Honorable Kennedy Osei Nyako, Deputy Minister of Agric, in charge of horticulture. There was Honorable George Odru, Deputy Minister in charge of perennial crops. There was Honorable Dr. Sagri Bambangi, Deputy Minister in charge of annual crops. There was Honorable Dr. J. Lenura, Minister of State for Agriculture. 5 ministers for Agric. 5 for the Ministry of Agric. One would have expected, because Akufo himself said it, he said that, oh, the reason why he had such a bloated government was because they were those he could rely on to run an efficient government and deliver to the people of this country. Those were his words when he was interviewed by the press. What is the record of Akufo-Addo when it comes to Agric? What is his record? What has been the prices of food, commodities on the streets of this country, in the markets of this country? Because even now, the government has not have enough in its warehouses that they had to even go, for the first time in the history of Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana, this MPP government shamelessly had to go to ECOWAS to beg for grains. With all the 5 ministers, they had to go beg for grains from ECOWAS. So the assumption is that if you had 5 ministers who were supposedly doing well, would we have had to go begging for food, my brother? Would we have had to do that? No. So it speaks to the failure of the MPP government. So the NDC on the back of this has said that, no, we can't keep treating the people of this country like that. The people of this country deserve better. I could even subject the Ministry of Railway into the, under the microscope. What is the record of railway? That they have built some rail lines, a few kilometers of rail lines. Tell me the operational capacity of the Ministry of Railway as we speak. Where do the trains move from? How has it lessened the burden, the traffic on our roads? How has it made it easier for food to be transported from one part of the country to another? Tell me. What is the record? What is the record? You scope around Taunton, you have Ministry of Railway, you needed it. What is the record? The record is 0. 0. When there was that accident on the Mpaka Dam stretch, what did you do? Have you paid Enterprise? Have they paid the insurance
for the
compensation for that? Has Enterprise done that till date? Because insurance, the purpose of insurance is that once I'm injured as a consequence of my registering with you, you should pay me. Has Enterprise Insurance paid this money? President Mahama believes that it's important that the resources of this country are used judiciously. And I tell you, I come from northern Ghana. I have lived in some of the most deprived communities in this country. I have mates that I played football with who, as a result, the failing of a state, they have not been able to achieve their full potential. That's why President Mahama believes that we should use the resources of this country judiciously. Judiciously. Let's cut down on corruption. Should you go into the record of corruption of this MPP government? If you were to put aside all the money that this MPP government looted and stole, that would have been enough to alleviate poverty in this country. Enough to alleviate poverty in this country. But yet again, they have failed. But we thank the people of this country because they have shown that never again will we tolerate corruption, nepotism, family and friends, inefficiency, incompetence in government. We have kicked them out. President Mahama is committed towards the future and towards the betterment of the people of this country.
Very well. So okay. So I wanted us to go into the creative arts space, the one that has been changed again. Remember that it was what it was, and then the NPP government changed it, and then it's been changed again to what it used to be. Some people believe that it would have still been okay to maintain it the way it is, because now you have to go and be printing new letterheads and all of that. Because if you look at it, the only thing that changes or the switch is the creative arts. You know,
what was the NPP?
I don't know what if you have any idea why we had to go back to...
The new EI says Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts.
Exactly.
What's the NPP version? What's it called?
It used to be Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture.
Arts and Culture. Well, I think this is just a matter of semantics. But you see, the reason why it's important to consider creative arts is that I think you are a creative as well.
I mean, that's
you are a
so
creative.
I understand. And there's a reason why I have to specifically...
I think that let's look at substance over form. And as to the naming, I'm not one that would be a stickler for names. I believe in efficiency. And the NDC is committed more towards efficiency. You know, within the NDC space, we have several men that are competent. We have several creatives in the NDC fraternity. And so there's a commitment towards ensuring that people in the creatives are able to explore the full extent of their potential. You know about the issues of Gambro, where musicians, they don't even get royalties for their music. The issue of the festivals we have. Let's remember, if we come to those that have been able to organize festivals well enough to tap into the diasporan community, it is NDC that started this under Rawlings. When Panafest was instituted. Panafest. An initiative of an NDC government. So we are committed towards ensuring that the tourism potential of this country is fully explored. There are several tourist potentials in this country. And this NDC government, and our manifesto was clear on it. We are clear that we will ensure and tap into the potential of tourism all across the length and breadth of this country. Tourism is actually multifaceted. It's not just about going to visit some community and see something interesting like a wall or a waterfall and all of that. It's beyond that. It's an experience. Tourism is an experience, and we have the men that will lead the charge. I'm sure in the next few days, President Mahama would announce his appointees in particular.
Very well. As of now, we have only 3 of them, which is the Minister of Finance, we have the Minister Designate, let me put it that way, and the Minister of
Attorney General,
for Ministry of Justice, and then we have the Energy.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
One other aspect a lot of people were expecting to see in terms of the ministries is the issue of education, because that also has a major issue as of now that it's supposed to be dealt with.
Yes.
So maybe in the coming days, like you said,
yes.
We're going to have that also.
But let me say this, because this is the first time, this is the fastest and most efficient way of running a government. No government in this Fourth Republic has, in a matter of 2 weeks, had appointed ministers and then penciled them for Parliament's approval.
But Afenyo Makin believes otherwise. He says that you guys are doing top ministry.
How is it top? No, don't mind Afenyo Makin. Afenyo Makin, we've all seen his arrogance. We've all seen his incompetence as majority leader. And we are seeing how he's handling the minority as we speak. So put Afenyo Makin on the side. But the record is that the NDC within 2 weeks has nominated 3. The Appointment Committee of Parliament has been constituted. Today they will be vetted. And once they are approved, they'll start work. But remember, the president has not gone to sleep. The president has specifically tasked the chief of staff to handle issues of education. That's how come we are addressing the issue of food shortages across the length and breadth of this country in secondary schools. That is a commitment towards excellence. Do you want to compare us to the failed government of the NPP? Do you want to compare an excellent government like the NDC to that corrupt, nepotistic regime that Akufo-Addo and Bawumia led? No, let's not do that. Okay. We've moved away from hell. We're in heaven now.
Very well. Now, you spoke about we have the men. Maybe you address other issues that you want to address, but I'm looking at the efficiency. We've always said that, we have the men. We had this a couple of years back. We have the men. They are capable of doing it, even with the ministers that we had. And we also what happened. Now, we want to address the issue of efficiency. You think that with the 23, we have now started hearing we have the men again. Will it work?
Sincerely, I would want to admonish my friends from the NDC to be very measured in their statement. It is very early days yet. And I will sincerely want to speak to the fact that they said to he who much is given, much is expected. If you look at the figure, the disparity in terms of what the NPP government had or the NPP party had and what NDC had, that means a lot of Ghanaians have invested their trust and confidence in them. And one thing that has been killing this nation is the wastage. And they see people in leadership living like Arabian kings, pretentious lifestyles, and they spend money as if there is no tomorrow. And a country such as Ghana that is not productive, like I keep saying, it is not a productive country, it's a consumption country. We consume than we produce. So if you're having a consumption country and you are running with about 100 and something ministers, then I will still insist that it is job meant to satisfy the interest of people who contributed to the success of the party. As we speak today, I heard President John Mahama said the last time that his office is being flooded with a lot of CVs. Regardless of the fact that he wants to maintain 60 ministers, his office is still overwhelmed in terms of CV that are coming from the 16 regions across all the length and breadth of the country and across all segments within their political space. Therefore, if Mahama does not stand his ground as a president, that can decide that this is what I want to do and it must be like that, then he'll be leaving a bad legacy for himself. So I would sincerely want to maintain that the scrapping of all these ministries, the merging of some of them is completely in the right direction. As a matter of fact, we should not live in a country where we need to pamper individuals. A country that pampers its citizens never gets anywhere. You must lead the country with fist and iron hands, that especially a country like Ghana, that indiscipline abounds everywhere. Any leader that comes must lead us with iron hands. That is the only way we can get out of this quagmire that we find ourselves in. So, like my brother is saying, Mahama has already started to show the clear signs of commitment to his promises, that I stick to doing this. Nobody expected him to reduce the number of ministries to 23 because he never mentioned that even in his campaign promises, that when I come by executive instrument, I'll reduce it from 30 to 23. So now he's doing things that we never anticipated, but already he's doing it. I sincerely believe, like my senior brother is saying, that Mahama has been in power before. He has gone back, he has done his SWOT analysis. He understands where our strengths, our weakness, strengths, and opportunities are, and he must leverage on it. So leveraging on this simply means that you must cut waste. The wastage is just simply too much. Now, coming back to the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, like you said, tourism is a low-hanging fruit. We've been paying lip service to tourism over the years. And when NPP succeeded in doing the year of return, they stood on that and used it as their trump card, that we did the year of return. And they've been quoting some voodoo figures by Ghana Tourism Authority.
Why do you think it's voodoo?
Oh, no, some of the figures that they put out there.
They've to back it up with some data. I mean, GTA has always tried to do so.
You see, when you are saying to me that people come to Ghana and you are calculating based on how much you anticipate that they have spent, that one you are doing a qualitative analysis, not quantitative analysis. Quantitative analysis will give me specifics. Specifics.
They have data to back some of the claims.
That's what I'm saying. Some of the data generated by GTA was cooked data. I am a tourism practitioner.
According to which source? How did you?
Yes, that's what I'm saying to you, that as a tourism practitioner, I have been with the Ghana Tourism Federation. That is GATOF. So if you speak to the leadership of GATOF and even the Ghana Hotels Association, they will tell you in all sincerity that the year of return and the estimated revenue that we derive from it, it is actually not accurate. Accurate. Because there are some hotels in Accra that will tell you they never even receive any visitor. They never got any visitors. So if you are measuring and do your calculation and saying that you assume that every hotel had this number of people who lodge there, therefore this kind of money was spent, the hospitality industry made so much, the restaurant industry made so much, this and this made so much, that one you are just giving us qualitative presentation. So all I'm trying to say is that the new government that has come in, as for issue of letterhead, it is a drop in the ocean. It's not anything that costs that much. If there is a need for them to print new letterhead, because don't forget, your vision must align with the ultimate interest of the people. And don't forget that Ghana, we had forebearers who established the foundations of this country. So whatever any new government is doing, it must be synchronized with the vision of the forebearers of this country. That is why I am of the view that, sincerely speaking, if you are able to do things and measure and cut our coat according to our sizes, NDC government will be in the good books of the people. That is all I'm trying to say. For instance, my brother mentioned railway. Railway has always been constructed since the days of Rawlings. Somebody will add 1 kilometer. Somebody will come and do 2 kilometers. Somebody will come and do 3 kilometers. That doesn't mean that we have not done any investment into railway. Please bear with me. But giving it a specific ministry, can we measure what they have really achieved? If you tell me that you've been able to construct a rail line linking Accra to Kumasi, which is one of the cardinal railway considerations, I would have patted you on the shoulder and said you have done a great job. But if in Pakadan, a loan that was already secured by the previous government, and you come and you're able to actualize it, you have done nothing.
Maybe we have not also been consistent when it comes to it, because we always say that, oh, it is something we need, but we're not putting effort into ensuring that.
So you don't need a specific minister or a ministry to ensure there is effectiveness and efficiency. Please are with me. If not so, China should be having over 200 ministers. America should be having over 100 ministers. Why not so? People are placed in positions. That's why we do multitasking. Human beings can do multitasking. Somebody can be responsible for aviation and railway at the same time and still deliver. It is about priority and scale of preference as a country. We don't have a priority list. We don't have a scale of preference. We don't really know what we can do that will metamorphose us into the next level. So if you all come to agree that we need a radical transformation in the rail sector to link the north to the south, why do you need a minister to do that? A director at the Ministry of Transport can be tasked to be responsible for that. Whatever you are doing, you share note with the minister. Minister gives directive. It gets to the office of the president. It is looked at. Whatever funding is needed for it, it is secured, executed. We make progress. But like I said, we like to pat each other on the shoulder too much, and self-praising in Ghana is too much.
Okay.
That is why the movement for change, we have always been advocating that bring everybody on the table. Now that Mahama has won power, it should create an atmosphere of all-inclusiveness. Give opportunity to others to also contribute, because wisdom is not planted in the head of only the people in the NDC. So they may tell you, we have the men. It is only at the tail end of their leadership that we can measure and see whether they are really achieving anything. Nana said so, they had the men, and he also told us that it is because of his vision. That is why he appointed about 120 ministers. If they have actually delivered to the expectation of the people, do you think they will kick them out with about 1.7 million vote difference? So that argument is neither here nor there. If you really want to transform Ghana, 10 key subsectors of this country's economy should be sufficient for us to move forward as a country.
Awesome. Just on the records, though, as at 2020 and between 2020 and 2022, the GT, that's the Ghana Tourism Authority, actually had almost about 1.9 billion Ghana cedis in terms of revenue from the year of return that you mentioned. That it's cooked figures.
What
now they projected 3 billion
to the consolidated fund. Where was the money? Where was the money? Was it their IGF they generated at Ghana Tourism Authority and spent? Or it is a money that actually has come to central government that the Ministry of Finance can tell us?
But this is revenue that they made out of the year of return in 2020, and they projected $3 billion in 2024.
It's qualitative. It's qualitative. They can embellish it in any way they like. Until I am able to get accurate figures that we can all authenticate.
Back with data, by the way. That's what you mean?
Yes, and authenticate it and verify it and understand. You see, they did a calculation based on the total number of people who came.
900,000 people, that's what we're talking about.
They claim 900,000
That's what gave us the
people.
1.9 billion.
What is our way of tracking entrance into Ghana? Do we have any measure to know that this actual number of people that has come to Ghana is actually true or not?
The airports will help them with that. The aviation and the immigration service can also help them with that.
It doesn't mean that in the absence of the year of return, people don't come to Ghana. Ghana is always a tourism destination. But
that's at that period of the year of return, which is obviously in December. That is what they're looking at.
What I'm trying to say is that people have always come to Ghana. The year of return has added some value to it. I would not take that away from them. It's a good concept, good idea. But what I'm trying to say is that whatever you do, and you are building a base, the vision for it is that it must metamorphose into something. So now, after the year of return, what happens? Now you realize that they say beyond their return, all the other beyond their return activities have never really succeeded. So they'll do what they say December in GH. Okay? What is the capital investment into December in GH? Let me tell you, I said I'm a practitioner. I have been around. They do selective contract awarding, selective program that they want to sponsor. And there are some programs that GTA will even endorse it. GTA don't give the organizers one dime. They don't give them a penny. They will only give you a letter of endorsement and telling you that you should use that letter of endorsement to go and seek for sponsorship. And seeking for sponsorship in Ghana is a Herculean task to perform. So if there is a deliberate budget, that whatever your events are, whatever the event is, and this is the ultimate interest of promoting domestic tourism. Domestic tourism, there are people in the north who don't know anything about voter region. There are people in voter region who don't know anything about what is happening in the north. How are we bridging the gap? Please, are you with me?
Yeah.
Until we're able to find a playing ground or a level field where we can sell Ghana to Ghanaians. So there should be a complete budgetary allocation that will be devoid of whether I'm an NPP member or I'm an NDC member. That is what I'm pleading to NDC to break away from. That when people come with proposals, with good ideas, don't look at their political coloration. Look at the substance of what they have brought. If it is the ultimate interest of promoting tourism, why don't you embrace it? If their budget is about 100,000, at least you can do 20,000 for them and ask them to mop up the rest of the 80,000.
Okay.
But when you are just giving them letters of endorsement and parading yourself as if you are doing something to promote tourism, and at the end of the day, it is people within that circles that are satisfying their whims and caprices, I think we are not making any inroads. So I expect NDC government to radically transform every subsector of this country, and we can maintain them in power for the next 8 years, 12 years, if they measure their utterances and they put themselves in the shoes of the individual and they live a humble lifestyle, devoid of excessive convoys and excessive wastage. I believe Ghana will be a better place.
Very well. All right. So if you just join us, you can also send your messages to us. We're streaming live on Facebook, and also our WhatsApp line is active. Very soon I'll be reading some of the messages that you have sent to us here on the show. So don't worry about it. We'll get those messages, read very soon. So let me get back.
Oh, we're just conferring. I'm just providing evidence of corruption at the Ministry of Tourism. You know, a former CEO of some of the Ghana territory, she resigned because of corruption there.
Yes, black coffee.
Black coffee?
Black coffee.
Oh, my good friend.
Yes, it was reported. All because of the corruption of this MPP government. Look, there are still people of conscience in this country. For someone to resign from the MPP government because of her principle, to say she's miles away from corruption, she won't be part of any corruption scandal, speaks a lot. She resigned.
Let me go to Solomon. Solomon, let's look at the impacts that we're likely going to be seeing, happening with regards to maybe when it comes to numbers, we may not really have too much impact because of amount of money that will be spent. Because if you're looking at 88 to 23, obviously you think that some monies will be cut. But is it going to affect our finances that much, even if we decide that we're still going to do it 23 people, 23 ministries?
Thank you. Looking on the face of it, the number from 88 or 100 to 23, let's say times 246.
Yeah.
You could see definitely there will be some money cut down in terms of the remuneration, the salaries that will be going, and then the allowances that will be going to these ministers. Should it had been maintained at the 100 or 88. How you understand? So definitely, but as to whether it will be significant or insignificant, that is another story to tell. And then look at them holistically to whether the nation will save some money or not. I would say yes. The nation will save because, just as you are saying, the ministries, you'll be printing, you used to say, they'll be printing with stationery here. Yeah. But now it's cut to only 23 ministries. So definitely, the country is going to save some money. But by the end of it, where the country wishes to get to, where the current driver wishes to send the nation to, are we going to get there? If we are going to get there, then that is what I'm saying. We can say all this when we get to 2028 and we can measure the number of ministers that were put into it and then the outcome. We measure them against the outcome of whatever they were able to do in government within the period. But let me quickly say this. It seems my brother here is still in the spirit of campaigning. yes, and that is what I want him to sort of try to distinguish between the two. There's a saying that after elections, there's no campaign, right? So your mood, your attitude, your aura, everything changes, right? That I want to draw his attention to. Yes. The reason why I'm saying that is he's saying Mahama will judicially use resources. Look, well, I would say Mahama is about, His Excellency John Mahama is about 10 days or maybe 4 days into office. So he does not have any current record to be tracked with. But at least we thank God he has served a 4-year term before. that we can easily compare. Can we say that during that period, the nation was run without any story of corruption? Can we say, can we boldly, can he, my brother here, Philemon, hit his chest and say, yes, within the last 4 years of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as the president, I mean, in his first term, there was no record of corruption? He can't say that. So he actually says the Mama judicial use of our resources. No, as if he doesn't have a record. He has a record. A very bad one, of course. I hope you understand me. So I am saying, look, we are all youth of today. And for Ghana to get to where we want it to get to, for us to enjoy from the fruits of our labor, for our children, our grands, to sort of enjoy the Ghana that we all hope to build. And let me borrow their words, the Ghana that we want, then we should desist from certain things as youth in politics. As I started my delivery from the first point that we were discussing, I said, oh, he is a new king, a new law. He has a vision within the period, for the period that he has been brought into power. And he thinks with this vision or with this target that he wants to hit, these are the vehicles that he uses. I didn't say anything derogatory, usual of politics. Oh, they start throwing that. No. Yeah. This is how I do my politics. And I think the youth should embrace this idea. If it is good, it's good. If it's not good, it's not good. Yeah. Look at what he said here. Though I had a little bite just to pull his legs, that if the man is to do it well, he'll be there for the next 8 years. I'm asking, so your man will not come again. You see? But look, we are into government to improve the lives of the people and to also develop the nation. So, if we are there, look, there are certain things that you say from onset. That he used the way, say the praising, he said the praising.
Tap on the back,
you see,
and all that.
Those things, yes, it's good that if somebody does that which is good, you need to tap the person on the shoulders. But some praises sometimes get into the heads of people, and then you see them driving overboard. I hope you understand. And if care is not taken, just as we have started, the person will feel, what I'm doing, by the time you realize it is gone bad. So let's be measured in that aspect too. And that is the only thing I will say here. Now, school feeding getting better. Better now. I mean, school...
the food
for the secondary schools.
Yeah, authorization to be best.
Rich, please help me here. When? And KMJ to you to help me here. I mean, within the last administration, did we record that there is no food in the schools? But
one thing that a lot of people have spoken, about is the fact that your leaving office left a lot of problems than solutions.
Which
especially
is
the energy sector. You remember what we're experiencing? I know. But I'm saying, you're asking me, and I'm making reference to some of the things that is making people...
I was talking about feed, so if you can help me in that...
I know. That's what I'm saying, that your leaving office left a lot... Because right after you left office, we had issues with food. And they were complaining. You remember Charles came out and said that? Charles came out and said that the parents should give them food.
Do you know that Kwesi Kwarteng, the former PR of the Ministry of Education, has come out to debunk what was said, that before leaving...
So why would Charles come out with such statement?
Him. He will be the best to answer you why he should come out.
When it's not the truth.
That is it. So ask him. That's what I'm saying. Look, the people, they should distinct from campaign mood to now you are in power. And what that we deserve, Ghanaians would deserve, or we are looking at from you, is that you give us the reality. Let us face what it is on it. Look at this thing. Energy, as you mentioned. John... is it John Jinapa, right?
Yeah, John Jinapa,
He came out to say that we may not...
the 5 hours situation, fuel situation, yeah.
The president came back to say, Ghana shouldn't be worried. There wouldn't be any power. We are going to make sure.
That is because they look for solution to it, right? It doesn't mean that the situation didn't exist.
Listen to me. What I'm trying to drive home is, look at the negatives that is coming out from John.
Yeah.
And then Herbert came to reply that, look, our time, we were told that if it were to be meat, the tissue is gone. It's left with the hard rock, which is the bone. But we were able to do it. I hope you understand me. We were able to, because if you come into government, yours is to fix where there are problems. I hope you understand me. Look at school, what is it, SHS, they are feeding thing, that came up. And for the immediate past PR of, Ministry of Education, to come out to tell us that before leaving, 150 million have been given to this people for that purpose. So why do you come out to say that, especially when we started hearing that from the schools, some heads are saying that the children should bring
their food to school.
I saw it on social media.
Yeah.
I mean, let me tell you this. That enterprise, that school running them, before this school placement in by this computer, anytime the children are entering into fresh year, that is where they say, the teachers, this is their cocoa season. Why were we saying that? We were saying that because if it is maybe St. Peter's that I want to take my child, when you go there and you know your child has not gotten the qualification to enter on the score, the child didn't get a place, you have to go with some brown envelope, and then this school placement thing came to halt that. Oh, yes, so they weren't getting it. I hope you get me right. So
this is another form of...
quickly, let them bring food. Meanwhile, because, you know, President Mahama had promised that they will be giving them money for them to go to the market and go. So, let them bring food to send a signal that there is no food, so that they will be giving them...
So this is the usual propaganda.
you see what is going on? But look, we are all Ghanaians. It is for the betterment of the nation. That's why we are all striving in various capacities as heads of schools, as communicators, as lawyers, whatever. I mean, the media. We need to be frank with ourselves and to tell it as it is. Don't just throw anything only for people to come out with facts and figures to come and disprove what you have put in out there. I hope you get me right. Now, the first time within 2 years nominated to be vetted, I mean, what is this?
We don't have to have...
What is this praising?
It's not a
first time within 2 years to be appointed and they are going to be nominated.
But that's efficiency we're looking at. We're all looking at efficiency. How we'll be able to do things quickly as possible too.
If, for instance, within the first 10 days, he's done with all the 23 plus their deputies. And they've gone, and within the first 1 month, they've all been vetted and approved because of the numbers they have. They've all been vetted and approved. No problem. But the end is what is going to be used to measure. I hope you understand me. So I'm saying we shouldn't be carried away with the fact that we didn't just do is
we should be measured with the way we look at things now.
Yes, there is a lot. And he cautioned my brother. Look, they should be measured in the way because you are not starting the journey. And fortunately, today is not a journey that you've not embarked on before. You've been there, you know the difficulties. Look at, you said President Mahama is saying already he has a lot of CVs.
Yeah,
he
mentioned,
he knows what he has faced before. And do you know what? The fallouts. Those who will get is praise the Lord. Those who will not be lucky, who will not get. You see.
That's another problem.
As it was, they shouldn't start like this. We should start conscientizing. Look, I'm from the MPP. Somebody said, why would you be giving them guidelines? No. It's Ghana. They shouldn't start putting these things in the head of their people. Let them know the reality. Look, yes, you've brought, everybody is bringing from all the 16 regions. Yes, but by the end of the day, it's only this number of 23. Let's start singing that so that people, when they do not get it, they will not be sitting on the fence, throwing stones at their
right
own.
From the onset, with the people.
That is it.
Okay. All right, let me get to some of the messages that our viewers have sent to us and engage them a bit. This one is from Richard Mensah, and it says that it's on Facebook, so I'm reading some of the messages on Facebook. It says, good morning, KMJ. NDC people have finally pulled down the statue of President Akufo-Addo at Efie Kwanta Hospital. What a shame. So I saw it this morning. A friend of mine sent me the images this morning about that statue. I actually said that I was going to mention it on the show this morning. So yes.
But not pulled down by NDC people. I think we have to be clear about that.
I mean,
there's no proof that it was pulled down by NDC.
I pretty much understand where this is coming from. And knowing very well
it's not factual.
One of those
not factual.
Comments. I'll just let it be. But maybe an investigation will be put into it, and then we'll get to know who exactly did so. Aaron Babakoko Komisa says, good morning to you. Those responsible for these fire outbreaks in our markets must be held accountable for their actions. Justice must be served, and the corporates must face the full force of the law. The authorities must conduct thorough investigations to uncover the masterminds behind these crimes and ensure that they are brought to justice. Idrisu Sakiado Salisu says, good morning, KMJ. I'm Sakiado, watching you live from Dubai Discovery Gardens. It's 40 minutes past 10 a.m. Keep up the good work. Many thanks, Idris. Good to have you on the show. And as always, please do well to join us. Bloody Fiukuma says, JDM's 3 days in office is better than former President Akufo-Addo's 8 years in power. Okay, so that's messages on Facebook. If we don't have any of them, let me just go to WhatsApp. Can I get the WhatsApp console and see how many of the messages we can do from there before we move on to maybe our next topic, which will be the IGP. Who has been directed by the President, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, to commence. I will see you.
No, when it's
His Excellency,
when it is fresh like this,
you did it.
No,
the statue issue gave it to my man.
No, when it's fresh like this is what happens.
But come on now.
Oh, yeah,
the president said the Tinubu is the what?
Federal.
The Federal Republic of Ghana. Come on now. I can be pardoned.
It happens.
Anyway. This one is from, I know, right? This one is from, what's the name? He didn't say, okay, Master Planner. It says, KMJ, the Honorable John Jinapo Light Ghanaians, he said we had only 5 hours of fuel stock and the light will be off. Today is the 5th day and the lights are still on, even though no additional fuel was added. Most of our energy generation is dependent on gas and not liquid fuel. They see themselves staring at them. That's why they are trying to find excuses. President Addo kept the lights on for 8 years, and they should do same. Just keep the lights for us and stop the blame games and complaints. All right. So you meant the former president. Now let me go to this one. It says, "Good morning, host. Tell the NDC guy to focus on what they can do and stop these petty politics." It was the same thing that drove NPP into opposition now. I think it's still fresh to remind people that we just came back from elections. And, there's more to talk about when it comes to that. So, President Mahama has done well for slashing down the ministries as part of his promises to Ghanaians. We hope they perform to expectations. If they fail, we will come back and hit them harder. Regards to Haji Asafia Mohammed, incoming MPP, National Women Organizer. And let me go on this one. It says, "Good morning. I've actually enjoyed the show this morning. Please tell Mr. Richard kudos for that good delivery. We finally found someone we believe can talk for Ghanaians." All right, pretty much. Another one over here says, "Good morning, all. I will say, I would like to say our President John Dramani Mahama has done a good job to reduce the ministers from 30 to 23. You mean one of your comments saying this morning, one minister can look into 2 roles with dictator, which is not needed 2 or ministers in 1 role. Some ministers have 2 or 3 secretaries in office. To reduce those secretaries as well and put them somewhere is needed for the country. JDM has a plan to the country of Ghana, but the IGP needs to move him out of those positions because he has abused the people of Ghana." Okay, so let me go to the next one over here. This one says that, and it's from Osei Bonsu, Dua Nkwanta, says, "Good morning, KMJ. Mahama has goodwill from Ghanaians. Now we want result and pray he delivers. The downsizing of the ministries are commendable, but he should remember in this in his appointment that old wine in new bottle is likely to be an old wine. We are watching." Hashtag. Let me read this one, and it says that, "Good morning to you all. You guys are looking splendid this morning, and panelists in the middle is making a lot of sense. All right, great stuff. We appreciate your comments this morning as well. We're all in suits, so good morning, His Excellency JDM in business, 30 to 23 ministers. Hey, what a serious president. Ordinawon Anakweku Owusu sent in that." Let me go to Hamza and Pig Farm, and Hamza always write theses for us this morning. He's done same. Alhaji Hamza Pig Farm says, "Good morning, my brother. In my humble opinion, restructuring and cutting the number of ministries from 30 to 23 is the best way to go, and by doing so, government will cut down waste and save the country some monies for development. I also think President Mahama has started very well. I am particularly happy he has ordered the Lands Commission to stop the sale of state lands and state bungalows. I am also happy to see that President Mahama has also ordered the IGP through the CID to open investigations into the killing of some Ghanaians during the 2020 and 2024 election. At least those found for the wrongdoing will be punished to show as deterrent to others, but so far, so good." All right. There are many of them. Let's go here and see what we have. It says, good morning. The president is on course and the nominees are excellent. They're capable of delivery from Big G in Tamale. Let me go to this one over here. It says, please, is President Mahama going to appoint regional ministers? Yes. We'll get there. Another one over here says, good morning, KMJ. This is Nyako Emmanuel from Bechem Adum. Those who think the devastating impact of Akufo-Addo's government misrule started due to COVID-19 or the Russia-Ukraine war should hold their horses. Every mishap you see today or in recent times had its seed sowed in the early days of his administration. Once again, Nana couldn't prove us wrong to admit that his tenure has been nothing but disastrous. It was the usual idolization and self-glorification of what has been a leadership of missed opportunities. Truth be told, Mahama's 1 week in office feels better than another 8 years in office. Ghana is in safe hands now. A belated happy birthday to you, KMJ. Congratulations to once again to Honorable Charles Akwesi Asiedu, the MP for the good people of Tano South. Hakuna Matata sent in that one. Thanks, Hakuna, for remembering me. Appreciate it. Good morning, KMJ. The President John Dramani Mahama vision for to reducing the number of ministries from 30 to 23 is another game changer, and there's no room for NPP to even comment on any policy of the NDC. If nothing at all, the step taken by His Excellency JDM to reduce the ministries is going to save Ghana some money and reduce unnecessary expenses. KMJ, please, I want you to help me get in touch with Honorable Jos Bauer Mokhtari for a very urgent matter. Noah Nakonja Ndamba from Kwantan North Kasa. I left his contact as well. Well, Philemon will be your best bet. This one says, good morning. Kindly advise the NDC man is early days yet to do the cheap politics he's doing with Mahama's lean government. Akufo-Addo achieved a lot with the ministries he created. The most important thing is to hit the ground rolling and get the best out of it. If the president has learned lessons from his previously failed administration, don't associate with the NPP. Now, their line of communication they have started to create an impression that John Mahama is working is just laughable and a sign of incompetence. Instead of setting the policies of his new government, he's rather focusing on the NPP. Get serious, bro. That's Ike in Koforidua, and that will be the last message that I have for you with regards to our messages. Maybe I'll get back again and read some more when we come back. But many thanks to you for sending them to us. A big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise. Kindness courtesy, we have news flash this morning. Now, gentlemen, so I would like us to do a quick switch as in regards to the topic. No, you have your time. Regards to the topic, I think you were the last person to speak before we move on to the next topic. But I'm letting you all know that we're trying to switch from the IGP story to the cathedral, since it's one of the major issues that have just come up, right?
I also think the IGP thing is also important.
No,
I said you are switching.
Yes, we want to replace it. Or you want to comment on the IGP issue? Okay, no problems with that. I think we've got a few minutes that we can do. But one thing you can do for me, though, is if we're all quick with our submissions, we can deal with the two topics.
So let's box them.
Yes, let's see how well we can do that. Maybe 5 minutes for all will be fine. All right. So when we get to that part, I'll read a few of some of the things that the president said with regards to the cathedral for you, just so you also have an understanding of it. But let me get to you, Philemon. Your take on the last ticket that we'll move on.
Yeah, so basically, is that when you put the conference of heads of assistant secondary schools on one hand, and you listen to the said Kweku Kwateng, PRO of the Ministry of Education, who the people of Ghana believe? Conference of heads of assistant secondary schools are directly responsible for the kids in the various secondary schools. And you tell them this morning that the reason for which they are calling for food is because they want to engage in corruption, that they want money dispersed to them, so they go buy food themselves. I think let's not be cheap like that. Let's not be cheap like that. I think that the MPP has no message. Yours is to defend your record, and we are holding you by that record. Don't be a motivational speaker this morning. That is not your calling. Your calling is to be a politician and to defend the record of your party, a record of failure. And we cannot dispense with that. No country can go forward without appreciating its past. And we learn from the errors of this MPP government. That's the only good thing about this MPP government is that we will learn from their errors. So the NDC is committed from departing from the several errors that this MPP government has inflicted on the people of this country. That is a fact. On the issue of feeding, I think that is something that the MPP has not been humble enough to accept. One thing about leadership, be humble. Be humble to accept it when you are wrong. Do not continue on the highway of pride. Don't. We all saw the body language of Akufo-Addo in the way he dealt with chiefs. I hope that's not like, it doesn't have a ripple effect on the rest of the MPP. Otherwise, humility is important. And at this point, would have expected the MPP to be apologizing to the people of this country. That would have been integrity. That would have been a certain level of acceptance of your failings. During the campaign, the MPP tried to tell the rest of Ghana that we are blind and that we couldn't see the nepotism, that we couldn't see the corruption, that we couldn't see the inefficiency, we didn't see the family of friends, we didn't see the arrogance. They thought we were blind. We kept on saying, and they would say, oh, there's nothing like that, we are da 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 da. When we said they had a bloated government, they said they are going to be very efficient. We warned them, but they just wouldn't listen. Learn and apologize to the people of this country for your failings. That's what you must do.
Very well. Okay, so let's do it quickly. And I'm going to read this release so that I think that I'll start off with, Solomon, I'll start with you. Is that okay?
I started the previous one.
Oh, okay. So because you wanted to comment on that, we're doing the IGP.
I thought we had.
Yeah, you mentioned so.
Just
Okay, okay. All right, then that's very well. Then I'll start with you, Rich. So it says that request for immediate investigation into the death of 8 Ghanaians during the 2020 and 2024 general elections. And I have been, and this one is actually from the office of the president. It says that I have been instructed by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to formally request for your office to initiate immediate investigations into the tragic deaths of Ghanaian citizens during the 2020-2024 general elections. These incidents, which occurred in various parts of the country, have left a lasting scar on our democratic process, and it's imperative that justice is served for the victims and their families. Now, it says that 1, establishment of a dedicated investigative task force from a special task force within the CID to focus solely on these cases, ensuring undivided attention and efficient handling of the matter. 2nd, collaboration with witnesses and families, conduct thorough interviews with eyewitnesses, victims' families, and other relevant individuals who may provide crucial information. The 3rd was review of electoral security arrangements, investigate the role and actions of security personnel deployed at the affected polling stations to determine their involvement or oversight. The 4th is use of forensic evidence. Now, employ advanced forensic techniques to analyze any physical evidence from the crime scenes, including bullet casings, weaponry, and other materials. And 5th, it says collaboration with electoral and civic bodies. Work with the Electoral Commission and other relevant agencies to review reports from the 2020 and 2024 elections for additional contest. Now, they also stated that they will do their best to support in any way that they can. And this one was signed by Callistus Mahama, PhD. That's the secretary to the president. And then again, we can also be looking at the issue of the cathedral. And there were 5 key things. Maybe I could just run through them quickly and then we'll take it from there. But let me take your initial thoughts on the IGP one, and then we'll have time for the cathedral as well.
Yeah, sincerely, I think it's in order, because every society that does not protect the life of its citizenry is not worth dying for or fighting for in any way. And every person's life matters. Poor, rich, weak, strong matters. Now, we live in a country where in the previous administration, to be honest with you, without prejudice, I think the former president, Nana Akufo-Addo, has been a tyrant. A tyrant in the sense that he never listens to anybody. Even if we are talking about the directive to IGP, but quickly to add, in the area of the free education that he brought about, if you look at the way heads of institutions were gagged, prevented from speaking, there were a lot of ills that were happening.
Yeah.
That free HSS was abysmally implemented. Was a free-fall free HSS. Free HSS without substance, free HSS without foresight and vision. It was a mass production-based free education. And it was only meant to woodwink Ghanaians into believing that they brought the best education that Ghana has ever had, which is a complete lie. Now, to come back to this issue of the people who died in 2020, how do you live in a country of 30 million people and you go into an election and 8 people die? Who are you expecting to be the #1 person to trigger an investigation into this? It's supposed to be the president. because the president's mandate is to protect the life of every citizen. So if you are going to an election and you lose 8 of your citizens in an electoral-related death, and you sit in the office of the president for 4 years, it's just unfortunate that goats don't hunt people. If goats really hunt people, they should have hunted down Nana Akufo-Addo and made him have a sleepless night at the Jubilee House. But perhaps those goats too were gagged, so they couldn't do anything.
Wouldn't that be asking for too much for the president?
Of course.
That the ghost
You
of the
see-
people will start
you
looking
see,
for him everywhere.
You see, we are all civilized people. America with about 50-something million people, look, even if one soul dies, you hear the president comment about it. Anything that happens to anybody, it comes to the attention of the president because he is the one who is marshalling the citizens into greatness. And everybody must be put under checks and balance. So if you lose 8 people of your country and you sit back and you never did anything about it, it is uncalled for. It is not a good sign of any good leader. Now, we waited. Another 4 years again, others have lost their life. Assuming without admitting that Mahama didn't win the election, I can bet my last penny that those who died this election too, it would have amounted to what? 0. Nobody will investigate them because that is not the primary interest of what? Of the party in power. So I sincerely believe that whatever Mahama has done is in the ultimate interest of the citizen because those people who die, they have families, they have wives, they have kids, they have lovers, they have everybody. So for them to die just like that, it is sickening to believe that nobody is taking any interest in it and bringing the perpetrators to justice. Anybody who has to be punished should be punished. Look at what happened during the Ayawaso Wogon election. Gunshots fired left, right, front, center. People got wounded left, right, front, center. When a committee was put in place and there was some findings and recommendations, what did the president do? He swept it under the carpet. If not for the vigilance of NDC in this election, the military officer, Opoku or something, Colonel Opoku or something, would have been given another unfettered right to misbehave in Ashanti region there. But NDC, for their own vigilance and good work, they were able to bring some of these issues to the attention of the public. So if I look at the terms of reference in the letter, I feel that everything is in order.
Okay.
They should make sure
the
that
5 key points that were stated.
yes, it's in order. It's in order. Especially looking at the electoral security arrangements. You see, a country that has not learned doesn't grow. So if you are not prepared to learn from our mistakes and be able to sit back and do post-mortem, do analysis and realize that we did this and we did it right or we did it wrong, then we are obviously moving in circles. So I sincerely believe that what Mahama has directed, you see, Mahama is showing some good signs and the omens are looking good. I only believe that he wouldn't get caught up in the web of this, excuse me to say, people who are actually lobbying. There are a lot of lobbying going on. And I sincerely want to appeal to those people who are doing the lobbying that it is about 6 million plus people who voted for John Mahama. All the 6 million people, they are all qualified to fit into one ministry or one agency or that. So if all the 6 million should be sending CV to Mahama's office, do you think the Jubilee House will have a space for himself to sit? It will be full of CVs. So we are pleading with them that it is not only those at the top who say they have PhDs, have this with a huge portfolio, with huge CVs. That some of them, their CV alone is about 30-page documents. So look, they are not the only ones who are qualified to be ministers and chief directors and this and that and that. Every other person who voted for John Mahama is qualified to become a minister or a director in one agency or a board chairman or whatever. So we are pleading with them to be patient enough for the man to do his job because his mandate is for the 33 million people. The 6 million people place him there, but he's not supposed to only look at the 6 million. He must look at the 33 million people and fight for the interests of all of us.
Okay.
So on that score, I sincerely support him. I only pray that if they can do it in camera, they should be publicized. We should watch. Everybody should see whatever they are doing. IGP should quickly constitute a committee. If the committee is constituted, some of their investigations, some of their hearings, some of their witness hearing and all those things, they should be brought to the fore so that we can all watch it and people can also contribute to it and make their contribution. So to conclude, are we adding the cathedral?
No, conclude for me. We'll go around.
To conclude on that, I sincerely believe it's in the right direction. Let's support it fully and make sure that we unravel anything that really happened untoward toward the loss of these people's life, we can't, Lana said we can't bring back life, but we can bring back the economy. So once these have lost their life, we can't bring them back, but at least fighting for their memory is in the right direction.
Very well, thank you. I'll move on to, but there's a new release that have come up from Felix Kwachi. We'll try and then look at that again. It's also the cessation of the board membership and issue of corporations and all of that. So we'll take a look at that. That just dropped about 23 minutes ago. I saw it on his page about 23 minutes ago. So we'll take a look at that. But let's look at the IGP issue.
Thank you very much. I will first of all commend the president for that initiative taken. I want to believe it in the spirit of nationalism. That is why he took this bold step by ordering the IGP to put in steps to sort of unravel what caused or what brought about those, and then try to get those who were involved to be brought to book. I think it's a step in the right direction. As I said earlier, because it was in the national interest, that is why I believe he's doing this, because it was a national exercise which led to the unfortunate loss of these people. I personally have two personal requests that I want the president to use such executive powers to also embark on. I mean, it's in similar direction. The first one has to do with the recent happenings that we're hearing, seeing on social media, TV, radio, whatever. That is about a Ghanaian youth who just ransacked, go to the police station, set it on fire. I mean,
very worrying situation.
Buidam. I mean, you see, go to Gapoa. We are taking over. I mean, you see, there are laws. We govern the nation with laws, and I know you are aware that all four of us here are aware that that is not the way we go about it. If power changes hands, the one who takes over has time limited to be doing his appointments here and there. Nobody told President Mahama, but he just immediately after assumption of office came out with a communique through his executive secretary ordering MMDCs to sort of
revoke the appointments.
Vacate. I hope you understand
me.
And that is process. I hope you understand me. The same way, but even with that, before this letter came, or before even His Excellency John Mahama will be sworn in, most of the youth, and if I say the youth, I'm not talking about youth from the MPP. I'm not talking about youth from the Movement for Change. I'm not talking about youth, but I'm talking about youth of the NDC who went into.
I think you have to be careful with that.
But is it factual that these people are NDC people?
Let me talk about my place, Gan West.
Okay.
Those who came, I know them.
And they are NDC people. These are the people who know them as NDC people.
I know. So we know our place. We play our politics in Amazon. We know ourselves. Even when I was a presiding member, the way I relate to our NDC folks, go there, those who know me, when you mention this, oh, chairman, for him, oh, this chairman there. When I was a constituency chairman in Amazama, the constituency chairman of NDC, in there, the executives, there was a time even the youth, Chachu was, Chika, they call him Chika, right? He was telling the chairman, hey, if it were to be Chairman Santi who was coming here, would be afraid, but for this candidate, the relationship, I hope you understand. So I know them. So if you say I shouldn't make it general, let me narrow to mine. I say before Mahama will be sworn in, these were some of the things that we were seeing. They went padlocks to lock the offices here and there. You see, we should, the way we are growing with this democracy in this Fourth Republic, we should be learning certain things and be departing from certain things and be embracing certain good steps. I hope you understand me. We should come to terms that, look, when we win elections, we are in power. Before we are sworn, our ranks and file should keep their cool till the right thing is done. And then when the leader assumes office, he has been given the executive powers to do A, B, C, and he will do. And that which they are anticipating, for which they have jumped the gun, that thing will be, those things will be addressed. I hope you understand me.
Yeah.
Because what we saw on TV, what we saw on social media, some of them, in fact, they are not palatable. Just the recent one. Look at the woman, the receptionist seated. She thinks she's come to work after X months, and then these people thrown into the office. Then the warning, the well-built bodies. I hope you understand me. It's not a bit. So I want the president, that's my passionate appeal. I say two. That is the first one. That one, he should use that same good office to sort of speak to or direct the IGP. I want the same channel, the IGP, because law and order is being kept by them, so that they would stand up to the game.
all these things.
Yes, they'll stand up to the game.
And then
the second one too, that has been long held. In fact, I thought when President Akufo-Addo came, our government came, that thing will be looked at, but I never saw it. I'm raising that because I think it is equally of national interest. What is that? That which befell us in 2012, July. That gentle soul, may his soul rest in peace. His Excellency, the former president, John Evans Fifi Achamos. So many Ghanaians have added their voices as to possible investigation into what caused the death, that sort of blah, blah, blah. You know, a whole lot of stories that when the man was, he was sent even not to the emergency, but to a maternity. So I will beg.
You think there should be an investigation?
If my government, which came, which I thought would have done it, didn't do it, I am sure this, we are talking about no other person than his own former boss, the one who left office by that demise for him to become president for the first time. He should, we beg him. But that's my passionate. I feel because he has become a public property, that is the ex-president, anything surrounding him should be of public interest. And that is where my interest is. I plead, President Mahama, please this morning, if you are hearing me, this is my humble, passionate appeal. That executive powers that you use to direct the IGP
to the killings of...
Yes, to investigate to the killings of the... I want you to use same executive powers to direct the same person, IGP, to ensure that investigations are carried out. For us Ghanaians who think the death of His Excellency former President John Fifi Achamos is of prime or of public interest, for him to sort of cause some investigation on it for us.
Okay, very well. Now, Philemon, let me come to you, and then maybe because of our time, we'll do the cathedral. I'll just read the press release from Felix, and then maybe we'll end on that note.
Okay, I'll touch first on the issue of the Air West Commission. They set up a committee to investigate what happened to the findings. It was submitted to President Akufo-Addo. He failed to act. People were mentioned, double was mentioned. What did President Akufo-Addo do? Nothing. Colonel Opoku was mentioned. What did Akufo-Addo do? Nothing. He promoted him to become commander for Central Command. So Akufo-Addo, monumental failure. But let me address issues that my brother has mentioned. My brother, and let me say publicly, is a student of the Ghana School of Law. Part 1, right? He is studying a course. One of the courses he's studying there is called Criminal Procedure. He's aware.
That is Solomon?
Solomon. He's aware of the criminal laws of this country. He's aware that if you come on TV and publicly say that you are aware that Mr. A and Mr. B and Mr. C have commissioned a crime and even fail to go and report it, that is suspicious. So I'm daring him, live here on TV. If he is stating that he knows the people in Amasaman and that they are NDC people who did what he alleges have done, I think he's not a good citizen. If he were a good citizen, he would have taken steps. He would have taken action. So you, in your small corner, what have you done about it? I think that is general characterization of ills on NDC people should stop. I condemn whatever violence may have happened anywhere. But to say it on TV and in the name of political expediency and advantage, level or accuse the NDC of complicity, I think it's way too wrong. You don't do that. You cut the hands of those people, the very blood that would come out of their hand is the same blood that would come off your hand. So there's no guarantee that all those acts of vandalism that have happened are perpetrated by members of the NDC. But I can tell you one thing the NDC is, that the MPP is not. And that's why we are committed to due process. We are committed to the law. We are committed to the protection of the public good. President Mahama has said that one life that is lost is way too precious to be ignored. Way too precious. If any of those that died, Solomon, was your brother, what would you have told President Akufo-Addo? What would you have told Alhaji Bawumia? But today, there are families in this country, children who have lost fathers, wives who have lost husbands, and have received no justice. A president swears an oath to do right to all manner of persons. When you read the presidential oath, there's a phrase like that, to do right to all manner of persons. President Akufo-Addo failed to do right to all manner of persons just because he thought those lives belonged to the NDC. He did not do right to them or their families. He sat down on his highfalutin horse and enjoyed the proceeds of corruption. I would have expected my brother to speak from a nationalistic point of view. If in Amasaman you claim that those that perpetrated vandalism are NDC people, that you know with your own eyes, report them to the police. That's what we expect from you. As for President Mahama, is committed.
Okay.
We have a manifesto. We have tasks that we have given. We will accomplish every task. And he said that in the first 2 weeks, his cabinet will be ready. In fact, I missaid it the first time. It's just been about a week after handing over that he's made these appointments, the first 3 appointments. See what will happen this week. The rest of them will come. Parliament's appointment committee has been instituted. They will be vetted and will hit the ground running from day one. Then we're not just giving false hope. No. We appreciate the fact that the MPP has left for NDC a huge mess. Huge mess. Unprecedented depletion of the reserves of this country. Just in about mid-year, we have to service some debts. For the past 2 years of this MPP government, they've not been servicing debts. We know that the MPP has borrowed the most in the history of this country. But they failed in paying, and that's even a sign of no integrity. Because how do you go for a loan, go and borrow someone's money and refuse to pay? But that has been the record of Akufo-Addo. All the monies and loans they have taken from banks and other countries, they had failed in servicing those debts. Now the time for payment is on the NDC too.
Right,
so we appreciate that it's a big problem, but President Mahama is committed. He will hold the steer well and lead us to steady waters.
Okay, so for the sake of time, we'll probably be ending here, but Felix Okwachi-Ofosu released a statement. Let me just read it and then touch on a few issues with the Kachivia and then we'll just wrap it up. Now, it says that notice of cessation of board membership of statutory boards, corporations, commissions, and councils following presidential transition. It says, in accordance with the Presidential Transition Act 2012, Act 845, all members of the statutory boards, corporations, commissions, and councils appointed by the former president or a former minister of State ceased to hold office on 7th January 2025 following the assumption of office of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. This serves as a formal notice to all affected members. For the avoidance of doubt, this excludes commissions that are independent constitutional creations. In due course, the affected boards, commissions, councils, and statutory corporations will be reconstituted according to their respective enabling laws. Now, the President takes this opportunity to thank all affected members for their service and wishes them well in their future endeavors. And the continues says the management of these bodies are directed onto further notice to seek clearance from the Chief of Staff before taking any major decisions. Signed, acting spokesperson for the President, Felix Okwachi-Ofosu. And so that's for that aspect of it. Now, the cathedral issue with JM, it says that, and these are a few things that he touched on, and so it says that, in summary, he said Shraj directed government to review the project. Government is enjoined to follow the directive which has been pending, so he will put together a committee to do that investigation on the project till date. Now, he goes on and says, he said, as Christians, we can look to achieving such a project without the use of public funds and at a reasonable cost. He said that it does not make sense to build a cathedral for $400 million considering the current economic outlook of the country. And then he went on to say that it's more reasonable to figure out what can be actually relooked and in consideration to even change the current location where the 58 million swimming pool, if you want to put it that way, as you have all said, is right now. So there's even a possible relocation of that cathedral, if it's even going to happen, because there are places which also have that it's, in terms of cost, it's way lesser than what we have. So let's see what in the coming days it will be looking like. We're going to have a conversation on this very issue, a major conversation tomorrow. Gentlemen, this is where time will permit us. I'd like to say a big thank you to you for making time this morning.
KMG, is that your way of signing off?
No final comment.
We don't have time. We don't have time. Unfortunately.
Not even a minute.
Unfortunately. No, is there something you want to say in a second?
You were reading
you can't really say anything. No, we can't talk about it.
You said is that contained in the document that you
Well, I'm looking.
I wanted to say something just a second.
I sought to reference what people have said.
The cathedral,
Yeah.
in all honesty.
Oh, no.
you start it.
That's another issue right now. My producers are on my neck right now. But let me say a big thank you to Philemon La, Esquire, National Communications Team member for the NDC. Richard Sumah joined us, leading member for Movement for Change, also here with us. Solomon Asante is National Communications for the NPP, also joining us this morning as well. Gentlemen, I don't take your time for granted. Really, I appreciate it. I'm grateful.